Poland is preparing for a potential war with Russia by launching adult military training courses that both men and women can join. Politico reports. It is specified that Warsaw currently spends more on defense than other NATO member states, 4.7% of GDP. Poland has the largest army in the EU and spends billions of euros on jets, missiles, tanks, artillery and much more. Now the frontline state, bordering Russia and Belarus, is preparing its population for war. We are neighbours with Russia and its ally, Belarus. We have no buffer zone between us and them. We only have limited time to prepare and respond, said Chief of the General Staff of the Polish Armed Forces, General Wieslaw Kukula. The publication recalled the words of Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, who said that Warsaw plans to increase the number of its armed forces to 500,000 people and train millions of reservists by the end of 2025. He assured that the training would be voluntary. Local authorities are expected to launch short-term military training programs aimed at civilians with no experience. The courses, which will last only a few days, will introduce participants to the basics of civil defense, first aid, and individual military skills. And for those who have already completed military training, refresher courses will be offered. Journalists noted that civilians who want more comprehensive training will be able to enroll in a month-long training program available in both in-person and online formats. According to Kukula, the training will be aimed at giving Poles skills that are useful in both war and peacetime. Financial compensation or tax breaks are being considered as incentives. We want the Polish state to make it clear that we respect those who contribute to our defense. No one will be turned away. Not everyone will become a soldier, at least because of their age, but they will be able to undergo training in civil defense, first aid and crisis response. Defense Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz explained in a comment to Radio Poland. It was also noted that military training for the adult population of Poland is part of the program promoted by the Tusk government. The country is expanding the school program called Education with the Army. According to the plan, physical education classes will include a civil defense component. Such a program will probably be launched in September. If we are ready, and if Russia knows that we are ready, then that will be a significant deterrent. In my opinion, it will be strong enough that Russia will not even start a conflict. Kukula added.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer told Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky he had the full support of the so-called coalition of the willing, NATO and the EU, for as long as it takes, at a summit in Paris on Thursday. According to Associated Press, Ukraine's allies from across Europe gathered for talks on how to strengthen Kiev's hand and its military as it pushes for a ceasefire with Russia. Starmer said the group agreed to offer more support to Ukraine and discussed how to increase sanctions on Russia. Hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron, the meeting of almost 30 countries, as well as NATO and European Union chiefs, was also looking to consider proposals to deploy European troops in the country in tandem with any peace deal. The summit comes at a crucial juncture in the more than three-year war, with intensifying diplomatic efforts to broker ceasefires, driven by pressure from U.S. President Donald Trump to end the fighting. U.S. brokered agreements this week to safeguard shipping in the Black Sea and last week to halt long-range strikes on energy infrastructure were greeted as a first step toward peace. But Ukraine and Russia have disagreed over the details and accused each other of deal violations, foreshadowing a long and contentious process ahead. France and the United Kingdom are pushing a separate initiative to build a coalition of nations willing in one way or another to support the deployment of a European armed force in Ukraine, with the aim of securing any peace deal by dissuading Russia from attacking the country again. Some European countries are more comfortable with a potential deployment than others, not least because a big unknown is whether Trump would allow American forces and intelligence agencies to back up any European contingent with air and logistical support and other assistance. Building a force big enough to act as a credible deterrent, UK officials have talked about possibly 10,000 to 30,000 troops, would also be a considerable effort for nations that shrank their militaries after the Cold War but are now rearming. There would also be questions to resolve about who would command the force and how it might respond to a major violation by Russia of any peace agreement. Starmer is driving the European initiative together with Macron.